Okay, so I thought I'd create a video showing you folks how the work on the extra practice paper that I had for you in preparation for the quiz. And so I would just do all the problems. So we're going to do these relatively quickly because you should already have a good idea of what we're doing here. So 1A says we're going to rotate around point A, quadrilateral B, C, D, E, 90 degrees. And since this is a positive 90 degrees, that means we're going to be rotating it in a counterclockwise direction, so it's going to go in this direction, okay? So I'm going to take my patty paper. I'm going to put the points on there. We've got point A, which is here. And since point A is the point of rotation, or the center of rotation, I'm going to make it a plus sign right there. And we've got point F, or what is this, point E, point D, point C, and point B. And I can put the lines in. I don't necessarily have to, but I'm going to put the lines in this time. Okay. Now I'm going to put my pencil point at the center of point A, and I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees until it ends up right there. Okay. Make sure everything's lined up the way it should be. I'm going to see if I can put these points, or put them on hard enough that they'll go through to the paper. They are not, it doesn't look like. So I'm just going to keep an eye on where they should be. Okay? And transfer them by hand. So point B should be right here. So this is B prime. C should be up here. So this is C prime. D. And E. Okay, so this I'm going to check and make sure again. They're looking good. So I'm just going to connect the points using my straight edge. And this is my rotation. There you go. 90 degrees. So A is done. Next one is B, which wants us again to rotate the figure, the triangle MON around point P 180 degrees. So here's triangle MON, here's point P. So once again I'm going to use the patty paper. This time I'm just going to put the points in. Okay, so M, O, N, because you can do it either way. Okay, you can put the points in the lines in, or you can just put the points in. I'm going to make sure though that I always put that plus sign there at the center of rotation. They want me to rotate it 180 degrees in the positive direction, so here's 90, and here's 180, and I should be right where I want to be, so let me make sure. Alrighty, and here O, M, N, okay, so O, N, I'm going to label this N prime, O prime, and M prime. M prime. And connect those lines. Okay, and that is triangle MNO rotated 180 degrees. That's B done. C wants us to rotate around line M, reflect across line M, triangle GHF. So triangle GHF is here, this is line M. So, once again, patty paper to the rescue. So here is point F, point G, point H. I am going to use my straight edge to do line G, which is the line of reflection. And then on line G, I'm going to make a mark, and I'm going to make the same mark on the patty paper so I know exactly where to position it when I flip the paper. Okay? So I'm going to flip the paper over. I'm going to put line M on itself. I'm going to make sure that this mark in there, it goes with this mark. Okay, they match. Everything should match up. Here we go. And we got H, F, and G right there. So H, let's go with G and H. F first, I'm sorry. So that's G prime, F prime, and where'd it go? Here we go. H prime. I'm going to join those two together. Okay. Okay. And we have rotated it. Okay. And last one then is reflect across the y-axis, JKLI. So here is JKLI. So I'm going to use a marker this time, okay, because it's easier for me to see. And we got, let me see what we got here. This is point I right here, point J right here, point K right here, and point L right there, okay? And it's supposed to reflect across the y-axis, and this is the y-axis, this line right here, so I'm going to draw that line in. Once again, I'm going to put a marker here, and on the paper I'm going to make it there. Okay? So now when I reflect it, I'll be able to line everything up. Okay, so got it all lined up. Alright, and now I can see where everything goes. So I is over here. So this is point I prime. This J is still the same as J prime. K is over here. So this is K prime. And L is right here. So this is L prime. I hope you guys are able to see that. I just realized I might have been hiding it on you. I'm going to connect the points now. Okay. Here we go. Almost made a mistake there. And here we go. There we go. Alright, so we've got, this is the new one, the reflection. And so we have done 1A through D, and we are done with the front side of this. Okay, we're going to flip to page 2. So, I'm going to get that out of the way. Here is page 2. Okay, so we're ready to start with page 2. And my first task on page 2 is to realize that I'm not allowed to use patty paper. We're just going to use the straight edge, compass, and protractor. Okay, so they want me to reflect across line M, triangle ABC. And that means I've got to realize that because point A is on the left side of the line of reflection, its reflection will be on the right side. And also, since points B and C are on the right side of the line of reflection, they will end up on the left side when I'm done. So, To do this, all I have to do is take my compass. I'm going to make arcs, okay? So I'm going to start on point A, and I'm going to make arcs that intersect the line of reflection. So I'm going to make one here, and one over here. Okay? And then I'm going to keep the same radius. I'm not going to change the radius. And I'm going to put the protractor point where the arcs intersect the line of reflection. And I'm going to make two more arcs that intersect each other. And if perchance I make a mistake and I don't make one arc long enough, I'll just go back and lengthen it if I have to. So here you go. See, I didn't quite do it on this first arc from over here. So I'm going to put it back in place and make it a little bit longer. And now I've got the point where they meet. And I'm going to say that this is point A prime. So let's see, we're going to say A prime. Now I'm going to do the same thing with points B and C, but I'm going to make my arcs so that they end up over on the left side of the line of reflection. So point C is real close to that line, so I can make the arc smaller. So here we go. These are the two arcs for C, and now I'm going to go to those arcs where they intersect. Line of reflection, and I'm going to make two more arcs. And I just seem to have all trouble in the world making sure they always intersect. So there we go. I always have to go back and make a correction. And again, that's no biggie as long as you make the correction. Now that's C prime. And the last point to do is B. So that's pretty far away from the line of reflection, so I'm going to extend it a bit here. So now my point's larger. My radius of the protractor is larger, so I'm going to go here and here. Okay. And from these 2 points, hopefully I'll do it in one try this time. Okay, so here's the first arc for B. And here is, there we go, my second arc for B. Got it. Okay. So this is point is going to be B prime. And now I just have to connect the points. C to C, C prime to B prime, B prime to A prime, A prime to C prime. There we go. And this is my reflection across line M. Okay. I'm going to go to this one now. This is rotation. Center of rotation is 0.0, and it's going to be a 120 degree rotation of triangle ABC. So I'm going to start right here at point O, and I'm going to make 3 arcs. The first arc I'm going to make I will have the pointer on O. For all the arcs I'm going to have the pointer on O, but the first one's going to go through point A. It's going to be the innermost arc because it's the one that's closest to O. The second arc I'm going to make is from point C. Okay, this is going to be the middle arc. And the third arc is going to be from point B. Let me make that a little bit longer. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the outermost arc is for point B. And all arcs, the pointer was at O. Okay, now I'm going to start moving each point 120 degrees. So to do that, I have to draw a line right from point O, to point A. Hang on a second. Let me get my pen there. Okay. Now I'm going to take my protractor. I'm going to center it on point O. I'm going to make sure the line itself goes right over the line that runs from O to A. Okay, I'm going to have to get a little bit closer there to see to make sure. There we go. And now I'm going to read from the innermost one because this is the one that starts low at 0, okay, or at 10. And I'm going to have to go all the way over to 120. I'm going to put a point there at 120. And now I'm going to take and I'm going to line up that point that I just made with O. And because this is where my A prime point is going to be, I'm just going to make the point right here on the innermost arc because that's the arc for A. Okay, so this is A prime. And I'm going to label it A prime. One moment, please. Okay, so I found where the new point A prime is going to be, and I'm going to do the same thing for point C and point B. So I'm going to draw the line from O to C. I'm going to put the protractor again centered at point O. Make sure the line goes over the line that connects point O to C. Okay? And I'm going to find 120 degrees, which is right here. And I'm going to make the mark. Take it away, and now on this line that I've created, an imaginary line, because I'm not going to draw the whole thing from O to the point, the new point I just did, I'm going to put in point C, and point C is on the middle arc, so I'm going to put my point, I'm just going to point at point C on the middle arc and say that's C prime. Alright, last one I have to do is for point B, so once again I'm going to draw that line from O to B. Set up my compass correctly. Find 120 degrees. Make the mark. Line up the mark with point O. And B is on the outermost arc, so that's where this point is going to be. I'm going to label this point B prime. And now all I have to do is join the 3 points together. And I'll have triangle A prime, B prime, C prime, which is identical to triangle ABC, but has just been rotated 120 degrees. And there you go. And I'm done with that one. Now I'm going to move this paper up a little bit. Okay, my last two problems are to find A. The first one is to find the center of rotation. The second one is to find the line of reflection. The center of rotation and the line of reflection basically require the same techniques. But with the center of rotation you have to find two perpendicular bisectors, and where they intersect is the center of rotation. For the line of reflection you just have to find one perpendicular bisector. Okay? When you find the perpendicular bisectors you have to use the same pairs. Okay, like if I go to find the perpendicular bisector of segment, I can only find the perpendicular bisector of like AA prime or BB prime or CC prime. I cannot look to find the perpendicular bisector of something such as AB prime because they don't match up, okay? So, let's go with A prime first, okay? So, I'm going to make, I can make a smaller arc than that. I'm going to make an arc here and an arc here for A prime. Then I'm going to move over to A and I'm going to make an arc and an arc. Okay? And those two arcs create 2 points, which I'm going to draw a line through. I'm going to make sure I've got them lined up really nicely. Okay, I'm going to draw that line. That's the first perpendicular bisector. Obviously I didn't draw it as nicely as I wanted to, so let me go back here. Okay, there we go. And now I'm going to choose, I don't know, I guess I'll go with BB prime, okay? And when I do this, I always want to make sure that I extend my compass so it's over half the distance between the two letters, okay? So this is over half the this radius is over halfway between B and B prime, okay? So here's the first arc. You can tell I'm trying to make my arcs a little bit longer so I don't have to keep going back and fixing, okay? And here's B. Okay, so I've got these two arcs now where they intersect. I'm going to draw another line, which would be the perpendicular bisector between an imaginary segment BB prime. And as I said, where these two perpendicular bisectors intersect right here is the center of rotation. So I'm just going to label that center of rotation. And I'm done with this one. The last one is find the line of reflection. To do that, all I have to do is find one perpendicular bisector, so I guess I'll go with CC prime. And I'm going to put my point on C prime first. Gee, I can really close this down a lot. Okay, I'm going to make my first arc. My second arc. Go to C, do the same thing. First arc. Second arc. Use my protractor as a straight edge. Get lined up. And this is the line of reflection between triangle ABC and triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. So again, I'm going to label this as the line of reflection. Okay, and I'm done with this worksheet. Thank you all for watching.